And we are back with the next section. Whoop whoop. Whoop whoop. Whoop whoop. Ha ha ha. Yay.
Oh, man.
Business concluded. Let's move on to stuff, I guess.
So yeah, next it's the organization and execution of the mass strike of all the other criminals against Lung and Bakata. And we finally get to see Oni Lee in action. Was he anything at all like you were expecting? Because based on the things you were saying about him up to this point,
What?
I don't think
Gosh.
you got it.
No, I don't. But before I get there, I want to say they were smart in setting up and this is the thing that happened a lot here, setting up a little information system for check-ins.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we've done similar things, but never with phones and whatnot. We never use phones for check-in. We would use paper and other things like that. It's a lot more like a prison system, but the ways of codifying it and whatnot was more like the things I've shown you before. Where, you know, if you have the whole piece, whoever receives it first can read it and understand it. But if you don't have that piece, that little corner or middle section or whatever and stuff, you can't read it at all. You have no idea what's going on. It's just complete gibberish, you know, and we'd have that little piece and then all the information would be handled using that style, that little piece that we all got to see or have or use once. And then, you know, usually you just eat it because it's paper. Like, it's gone. Ain't no way anyone can piece it together if it's been eaten. And if it's just paper. So you just yam, you know, but that's what we would do. And any little communication when we're out and about doing things was done with that. You know, any notes that need to be sent. Yeah, no one would know what the hell it was. You know, it was like, you could order pizza. You could just have random words or stuff. Or like you're just doing little sketchies and little booga boogas, like with little character names or whatever. You know, like, cool, just says Dogman McGee, you know, and because of how it's set up, that delivers the message for you. You know, so that was nice, that was smart, that was cool. Never done the synchronized watch thing, ever. Like, but they do that here, which was kind of neat. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, these days, again, this was back in like 2011. I remember at that time, setting clocks on your digital devices was something you had to do. Only some like smartphones had like automatically updating clocks and stuff, but that was just like a thing. Like my watch and my phone and my tablet and my computer all had a slightly different time on them, like off by like a minute or two.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when you're dealing with like groups, this many groups and this many people and stuff, you're like doing coordinated strikes, you need to be going at like the same time, especially when you have a mover as fast and as capable of responding to multiple places at once as like O'Neilly, right? If you're like, if you're off by like 2 minutes, then he could already be done dealing with us before you even get started. You won't be able to get anything done before he's there to like bomb the shit out of you. So it makes sense. Nowadays, everything's all like connected to the internet, and like there's one time now for pretty much everything. But at the time it was written, it did kind of make sense.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm sure there's still people who utilize tactics like that because it makes sense if you need to crack a safe and do a thing and do all this other stuff at the exact same time and have it down to like milliseconds. Yeah, that makes sense. But none of the stuff I ever did was quite like that. You know, like one of the big things that we operated under was, you know, the plan of action is not survives contact with whatever's happening. You know, Like, there's a time where, oh, we're just setting out to go meet with people, and like it has led onto a whole thing of jumping walls, stealing trees, and doing all this other stuff that just was not originally part of the plan at all, but that's how it worked out, you know. Wacky doodle stuff like that. Or when
Jumping walls and stealing trees and
you
trying to
know,
get away.
we were never supposed to dismember that one guy, but you know, I had his arm in my mouth and stuff and was crawling around. It was a whole fucking weird situation, but we got out of there okay. You know, so shit just happens, and it that was our big thing, is that we knew shit was gonna happen, and shit did happen. You know, and I mean, wild, ridiculous stuff happened that just should not have. But that's the way of it. You never knew what was gonna happen. I can only imagine if like superpowers were real and I lived the life I did, like what the hell I would have experienced. You know, like it'd be insane, the stories I'd have to tell. You know,
I
and
mean, the stories
I
I tell
still
are
lived
pretty fucking
of
insane.
everyone around me and stuff. No, they're not. Here's the thing. I had the least stories and the most sane ones to tell of everyone I ran with. Like, I didn't think
but
they
you
had
don't
any
understand.
worth telling until, you know, I later found out, oh, that was weird. That's not everyone's experience of life.
No,
You
you
know,
see, that's the
I
thing.
had
It's
no
like,
idea. I thought that was normal.
well, the thing is like the kind of people you ran with make up like 0.5% of society, and the other 95.5% look see that shit and go,
Apparently,
what the fuck is happening?
you know, I had
Like,
no idea. You know,
nope.
I just thought that was all normal. You know, and I was like, oh, I'm the boring one because I haven't done this stuff, you know, or it's like, you know, I get called slurs because like, oh, I didn't kill people at that point in time. Right? You know, I hadn't done this type of stuff. I was like, I get made fun of. I get horrible names on me, you know. But yeah, I didn't know that wasn't normal. So yeah,
Yeah. Well,
this still working? Yeah, still working.
yeah. So yeah. Well, you managed
You know,
to turn and lead a very different life at some point. Which you know, definitely not easy.
honestly,
So
no, I have the traumas, you know, so let me, there's still things where
no, I
it's
mean,
like, you know,
yeah,
and like
but
who I wind up talking to and stuff too in this like random areas stuff. Oh my gosh.
yeah, but your lifestyle is uh much, I mean, much better now. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I'm a cuddle muffin, and yeah, I might not understand the issues and stuff of the way I live life now, but you know, and I'm terrified of them because I don't understand the things of having a house and stuff like that, you know. But like at the same time, it's better than being stabbed or whatnot. But at the same time, I know how to deal with those. I don't know how to deal with this. Like when the bank tried to steal my house and other people tried to steal my house all at the same time because I had cancer, I was like, I don't know what to do. I'm panicking. I can't save myself from a house. And, you know, I had to rely on all these other people to help me out to get through that. That, you know, because I didn't know how to deal with that situation at all. But normal people know how to deal with that. You know, so. Yeah.
We all get by with a little help from our friends.
So,
yeah. That's for damn sure.
For real. Like, that's. And, like, you know,
I'm a cuddle.
You can pick and choose people to try to make your friend. You know, I recommend getting a variety because, yeah, if I didn't have that, I would have gotten out. I would have been having a good time doing the stuff and then got completely blindsided, screwed, and wind up back in the same kind of horrible situation to get out of it, you know? Yay! I didn't! Woo!
Yeah. Man. All right.
So
Back to the topic. Yeah, they set up
let's see here.
basically, it's a very simple like, hey, are you still alive? And also, what is your general like vibe? Like, are you okay? Are you like not okay? And are you like, do you need help? Right. Um, and there's just a verification of like
What?
identity, I guess. Very, very, very straightforward. But it's like it's effective. Um, but one thing that happens here is that
Yeah,
everyone
it's
kind
kind
of
of like
gets
what I was
all
saying.
the
She should
groups.
have set up with the arms master guy, like what she should have asked for like actually. I was like, remember how I was saying, you this with a special word like waffle or whatever. It's kind of like that.
Mhm.
Anyways,
Yeah, so one thing that happens is all the different groups get split and form squads. With the general, like, the justification given here is that, like, so that way everyone can kind of keep an eye on each other and make sure they don't, like, hit each other's territory or murk, like, other people's, like, members or whatever while they're kind of out roving the streets, hunting down ABB.
because this is the opportune time to do it. This is the opportune time to do it. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there are definitely
Like,
some people who
yeah,
probably
we
wouldn't
really
do
get to a
that.
point where I was like, Taylor, you should have murked those two guys. This was your time. You did it. I need to agree. I get that in here. It happens to me. Uh,
Um, right.
anyways, you asked me about
So
Oni Lee and how he fought.
yeah.
Do we want to side ban? Who did we want to hit up this?
Actually, yeah. So real quick. So Skitter here now. Taylor and Bitch get paired together, and they get put on an absolute banger of a team. So they get to go with Kaiser,
Oh, dude.
Fenya, Menya, Sundancer, Neuter, and Labyrinth. What a goddamn lineup of people, and also Neuter. Oh boy, which is really
I know,
funny
so
because if Neuter wasn't there, they would have been hosed. um,
right?
oh man,
But
what a
at the same time,
fucking
this was so
this is like
good.
squad A.
This is
They're like
so
there's
good.
some real heavy hitters here. So
Yeah.
we get to meet Sundancer. This is the girl who was like, I don't know if I really want to be traveling around. That's not really my jam. Um, she kind of is, from what kind of
Yeah.
comes off here in the text, real fucking depressed, and also kind of terrified of her own power. And then when you see her power, you kind of understand why she's a little scared of it. I would be too, personally, because like
Yeah.
that's one thing that
And
that the travelers all kind of have in
she's,
common.
if I remember right, is she Asian, right? Is that right? Or is that just my brain trying to appeal to her outfit?
Um,
I think it's just her
don't
outfit
remember that.
that made me think that for some
Um,
reason. Yeah. Yeah,
no, she's
I'm pretty
definitely
sure it's
okay.
just the
Nope,
outfit
she's
that gave me
definitely
those
not.
vibes.
According to the wiki, she is an attractive
Okay.
young
Cool,
blonde
cool.
woman
Because,
with delicate features and a long neck. Her suit is a
yeah,
black body
definitely
armor
not.
with red studs on it.
Yeah. Yeah, that
Um,
gave me major, like, Asian vibes. So I guess I just assumed. Meowing, we're back again.
yeah. So we're talking about. I was
Dream
talking
Team.
about at least
And,
about this god tier crew of all the heaviest hitters. Um, Strike Force A, and I include Labyrinth in that because Labyrinth's power is fucking cracked. So that's a thing about her and Ballistic, honestly, as far as the Travelers go, is that their powers are kind of like hyper lethal and not very versatile. Because like Taylor could be hyper lethal if she wanted to be, but there's also a million other things she can do. Sundancer just summons a sun.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
not really a whole lot you can do with that other than fucking annihilate shit. Now she's not really the fucking annihilate
The
shit kind of person.
scientific study
so-
things she could do, like, what do you call it? The hadron colliders and stuff like that. She could be her own little facility like that.
Yeah, she can generate
Be
solar
like,
power.
yo, send me money. Y'all can do all this scientific research, like, let's see if there's some unique elements and stuff happening in here. Let's go. Give them a look, all
Observe
kinds of
fusion
things.
in real time.
But, what?
Yeah, she's fucking dangerous as shit.
Woof.
That's the thing is like, when she first summons the sun, it's like, the size of like a bowling ball, and then she can make it bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and move it around with her mind.
And move it.
It's just awful. Yeah, pretty fucking big. In terms of like small sun, it's still like the size of like a car.
Yeah.
It's brutal.
Another character where the physics people would be like, oh no, the universe must implode 37 times because this character exists alone. So I love her just because of that. Like, making those guys have an aneurysm is great.
I mean, for sure, but also like fusion on this scale where it's like a sun that's that small shouldn't like cause like it causes some fucking damage, but it's not like like, oh no, like a sun has ignited the atmosphere, it's all gonna like ignite, right?
It's not shooting first, whatever. Oh, it's like, shut up.
Yeah,
shut up,
like,
guys. We're dealing with this. It's fine.
Yeah, we've created like flashpoints like that are hotter than the sun, and like the atmosphere is fine. So shrug. Anyway, I do.
Is it low?
I don't. I mean, yeah, it didn't combust, so we're still breathing it, so it's fine enough. There's plenty of damage to the atmosphere, but it's not from the flashpoints. It's from all the fucking like spray cans from like the 70s.
And all the other things we did. We did a whole bunch of other stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oof, my goodness.
And anyway, there's I think like when I have a pretty good like recollection of all the events of the story, but when it comes to minutia and specific lines, and like quotes and stuff, there's really only a handful that I remember, and one in particular that I loved was when Sundancer's like Taylor's like, so what's your power? She's like, fire. She's like, we're gonna go fight Lunk. She's like, I know. He's immune to fire. Not my fire. That one made me fucking laugh, especially in retrospect. Considering oh my god, she had a good reason to be confident.
Yeah, there is something that would have killed me if she said, but she didn't say it. But I was like, is it gonna happen? Because one, she's fighting Asians, okay, like that's who they're fighting, and she drops the sun on them twice.
Oh my god.
Right. I thought there was gonna be a reference to that made by someone. Okay.
No.
Look at me. No, if Regent was there, he'd have done it. He would have.
Probably. Fucking Kaiser was there, and he didn't do it. So.
Brother, I really thought the song was gonna do it. I'm like, okay, who's gonna be the asshole who does this? But no one did.
They managed to resist. Right.
I have one problem with how the fight is written.
Yeah.
One problem with it. Like you said, a lot more people had problems with it before, but they've sort of tweaked it up, edited it, make it a little better.
Mm-hmm.
The problem I have is we have amped up Lung in this fight, and him attempting to speak while like that. Now, when that's happening, we get what Taylor believes he's saying, and then his ooh, 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 sound effects.
Okay.
Personally, I did not like the combination of ooh, ooh girl, and then 25 words explaining what she believed he meant. I would have much preferred just getting her belief on what she thinks he's saying. Or if we're gonna have a bit of his sound effect things, for it to sound like twisted versions of like a Mandarin word, where maybe it's just extended or whatever, and then her being like, I don't know the language, but I think he's saying something like this, and it's just so twisted that I can't even tell.
Yeah.
I feel there's
So
something with that really took away from everything else here.
so the what those like things that Lung was saying was English, but it's like fucked up because his mouth is no longer like in the right shape and also in four pieces. So if you squint and twist your head, you can see what he was saying. If you kind of like sound it out and like make a slight guess, it is English. It's just broken real bad. Um, and
Yeah, I would have
and,
much preferred
and
just her interpretation of what he was saying.
yeah, like
Just to
he growled
keep that
some
focus
sounds
in.
at
Because
me that
I was
sounded
almost
like blah
laughing
blah
through
blah blah
this.
blah. Yeah, yeah. I didn't
Yeah.
like the way Lung's broken speech was written, but for the same way, I fucking despise when people try to write a Southern accent. I'm like, just say they have a Southern accent and
Yeah.
write English, please, because it doesn't it don't just don't.
Oh my god,
It's
this is actually killing me because one of my characters, like for a story I'm writing, she speaks a very specific way, very odd and weird, and I'm conflicted on whether or not to write her with the accent the whole way through, or just state that she has it and explain it, regularly at little intervals that maybe the person misheard her because she does this type of thing. But I know I'm going to make a decision and stick with it. This felt like trying to do both. And I was like,
yeah.
ugh, duh. But yeah, I know what you mean, though.
The only
Yeah.
reason I think I don't think it's too egregious is because this is like first person and like narrative, right? Where like all the time something happens and Taylor gives her thoughts on it, so it's not too weird. But also at the same time, I don't
Okay.
think that the sounds needed to be written out phonetically, because it looks stupid.
Yeah.
I can't stand when
It
people try
does.
to
It
write in
looked
an accent.
silly.
It looks dumb.
Like, if you're going to do that, commit the whole time and have, like, a bunch of accented characters where we can tell apart instantly by their accent. Like, it's almost Shakespearean then. You know?
Mhm.
Don't throw only one or two in there and call it good. No, it's not the right one for that
Yeah,
formatting. Ugh.
yeah. I think English just doesn't make enough use of like accented like characters, and so we have like the only way you can come across with these sounds is just like writing them all the way out and using like apostrophes to separate things and
Yes.
conjoin them instead of just putting
Yeah.
like down like an
Instead of
accented
like
A.
doing like the A with the apostrophe above it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like
It
it's gonna be so much more
English
efficient.
has the capacity, but it's not um
Nobody knows
utilized
what those sound
properly.
like. Yeah.
I,
So anyway,
yeah.
it's a relatively minor
Woof.
nitpick, but and again, like I'll say after this point, Long doesn't make much appearance in the story, so it's not really a problem in the future. Um,
I,
but I do want to know what you thought of Oni Lee because you had some very specific guesses. I'd say of all the characters that you heard of
I,
and didn't see and made guesses about, I'd say Oni Lee was probably consistently your least accurate guess.
screw you. You're right.
You were so far off base every single time, you weren't even close. And for other characters, like you've been like wrong, but at least it wasn't like, oh yeah, I can kind of see that or whatever. To be fair, you hadn't met Oni Lee at all. You just heard about him secondhand, so there's no way you could have known. I'm not like ragging on you for it, but it was funny every time you're like, oh yeah, maybe he's like this
But I
secret like mastermind, or maybe he's like blah 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 blah, or like maybe his power is actually this other thing, and I'm like, nah, dude's just probably the most straightforward like guy and like
yeah
that exists. He does one thing, and he does it. He doesn't even
yeah,
really
and
talk.
he's just really good at it.
Yeah, he's very good at it.
No,
Um,
he acted. Well, say him and Kaiser acted the most like real people in these kinds of fights. Like out of all the characters, and the shit that happened with with Neuter and whatnot, that felt really real. Like, you go in there, bam, someone's down and everything like that. Like you don't know what happened. They're down though, but now you gotta handle that. Or,
yeah,
they're not gonna be available later, and like you still need shit from that guy. Normally the people I ran into were more together than us, so it's kind of like if this guy dies,
yeah,
then there goes our this and that. So yeah, but it was like, woof, this is relatable. This is realistic. Like that's that shit that happens. More people got stabbed, sliced, or torn apart even and mauled than they did getting shot. Was the things I was going through. Guns came up quite a bit. Like I've never been shot with a gun. I can say that. But like, oh, I've been stabbed. I've had wood shoved up my foot. I've had all sorts of crazy shit go down. And yeah, that was pretty real. Dug it.
yeah. It was interesting
I hate
because
that.
the way we get told these fights is from Taylor's perspective, and it was a really interesting and cool idea to have these like to be first person, but from the perspective of a character who has so much extra information just about everything because of how much she can sense like with her bugs. So you kind of get like this like almost
How she figured out
panopticon
only
view,
Lee was there was really cool.
hmm But like, what happens? The
Uh-huh.
reason why we have no idea what really happened to Neuter is because she can't really track him because any bug she puts on him passes the fuck out immediately. So she's kind of like, I just kind of had
Yeah.
to guess. Because like his whole body is covered in like sweats, and his sweat is like hyper psychedelic. It's like it's basically like magic mushrooms plus fentanyl mixed together in a liquid that works instantly upon skin contact. So it's
Yeah.
like hypercrack.
Yeah,
So
that stuff's woof. Yeah,
um,
like someone
which was our
kidnapping him and
deus ex
using him
machina.
as a drug source makes so much sense. Like, woof. Yeah.
Yeah, that's literally what he. That's like so the Faultlands crew. They have like a nightclub, and that was like the thing that you saw him doing in the Gregor interlude was like that's
Yeah.
why the all those chicks were around him is because they pay him to get them high, right? And he just kind of chills there,
Yeah.
and like people just watch him and go fucking get really high. Um, but yeah, no, it was very important
Uh,
that he was here. He played a very critical role, being shot immediately.
now, sliced open and like, boom, left her. Yeah. Woof.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
a couple of things I
But
wanted
honestly, it
to
set up
note.
for the rest of the drama of this. It was so good. Yeah.
That
Wow.
was good. It was great setup, but a couple of things that I wanted to point out was Only is like a threat, right? Where if he had been around in this fight for too long, there's no shot that these guys would have won. Because no matter how great they are at being heavy hitters, most of them are weak to sudden explosions to the face, right? And
Yeah.
also, none of them are very
I think the only
fast.
ones who had the what do you call it? Skills to handle him also had none of the talent to handle him. That was Coil's guys. You know, they had all the skill in the world to do a real fight, but he had every advantage against him. So without Taylor, they'd have been offed, but with her, they were able to fight back and take it to him.
Exactly. So she was able to kind of like track him and communicate with the mercenaries. Because the mercenaries were the only people who had any sort of a shot against this guy in a fair fight, which there never is a fair fight because this guy can motherfucking teleport and leave clones behind. So it was never really a fair fight. So the mercenaries get taken out pretty quickly, but critically, one of them
is
like not as out as we thought, and dude manages to pull off the shot of the fucking century and like injures O'Neilly enough to scare him away.
Yes.
Give that guy a
love him
raise.
so much. Like, that's what really gave me yes. That's what gave me respect for Coil's men right there. And then how they act after this and whatnot. I was like, yeah, these guys are my jam. I would 100% say fuck that other people if I can do with these guys. They're great. Awesome. They know what they're about. They do their job. And they're focused on that job when they're on a job. Like, you ain't taking it from them. They're not going to run away to ban you. They're going to get job done, even if that means, they break their hips and their spine or whatever. They get job done because it needs to get done.
Yeah, that guy, by the way,
that's amazing right there.
Gets hit with a grenade, thrown off a fucking building. Like, there's multiple stories tall, and still shoots O'Neilly while he's teleporting around. Dude's a fucking certified badass. And it very, very critically shows us that a normal dude with a gun can absolutely fight like a superhero or a supervillain, right? Because that is like just like a thing in many, many, many superhero properties where like a normal person pretty much never has any kind of a shot. I mean, like, you could like argue, oh, Batman fights blah 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 all the time. He's not a normal guy. Dude's like, I've seen like the Dark Knight trilogy or whatever, right? Like, he gets trained in like fucking a monastery somewhere, and like also has basically infinite money. I'm like, of course, like, anyone who like could like fight like fucking Iron Man had infinite money.
And if you go further and stuff, he trained with the Shadow, and that'll do some crazy shit,
Yeah, and so like, like the fucking like dude, like any superhero or whatever could be surrounded by 150 people with guns and it wouldn't matter, right? But here, this one dude with a gun who fell off a fucking building was enough of a threat to matter. He made a huge difference in this fight. Because one good grenade. What's Taylor gonna do? What's bitch gonna do? What's fucking Sundancer gonna
Fault line gonna do?
Nothing.
Yes.
Yeah, like Kaiser and Fenya Menya could probably live because Kaiser's covered in steel and Fenya and Menya are gigantic. And like in addition to that, reduce any incoming damage on top of that. So like they're probably fine, but the rest of them are like gonna get fucking blown the fuck up. And so this one guy with this one dude,
say it. The guy
makes a big difference.
O'Neilly is the one who has the brain power, honestly, that he would be like, oh, we're fighting the giant women who, have all this extra stuff. I'm gonna teleport to their mouth and a nose and shove a grenade up there and blow up, like, I'm gonna do that. You seem like the kind of guy, like, Taylor's gonna shove bugs up your ass. He'll shove a grenade up your ass, okay?
Yeah, he would do that.
I know.
We'll certainly try.
Yeah. He knows it's a fight, and he was treating it like a fight. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and especially since like he got injured, and instead of fighting injured, he fucking bailed. Which is probably the right move. Especially considering the shit that kept.
Come on. When I could make that call, I've made that call. Couldn't always, but when you can, yes, right call. GTFO.
100%. And then uh fucking and then Long gets a hold of Taylor here at some point and is basically holds her up and is like, "Hey, I'm about to fucking kill you." And
It's you. I'ma kill you.
Taylor, yeah, and Taylor does what Taylor does and says, "Go fuck yourself." And I was at this point when I was reading the story for the I reached this point and I'm like, what kind of Deus Ex Machina bullshit is going to have to happen for her to not die in the next 5 seconds? And I was very pleasantly surprised at how well the setup had been that I wasn't even mad. I was like, you know what? That was actually pretty fucking cool. I didn't even think about that. Um, so what did you think about how Taylor took that along here?
Nah, which part of it? Because of the part where bitch comes down from the roof part, like not the roof, but the next level up in the helps, and then there's the part with Sundance. Which, oh my gosh, which part do you specify?
No, I mean the part where she used her bugs to deliver some neuter goo.
That part, I totally forgot about it. Oh my goodness!
Yeah, that's what actually did it.
Holy crap! That was like the end of that part. That was like the end of that part. Oh my god, the end. Okay.
Yeah, that the part where he's holding her and is about to bite her in half.
That was almost perfect. Like, for it to be perfect, I would have liked a few more sentences, like in the middle of the fight stuff of, like, where we're talking from her perspective of, like, doing something that's not in that area, where it sounds a little weird, but it sounds more like, her bug type stuff. If we had just a little bit more of that mixed in there with the rest of the stuff going on, it would have been 100% perfect. I'd have been, like, kicking myself for not noticing it if that had been going on. So that's my one caveat, was if it had something like that earlier to give us a hint that she's trying something like this, and then that where you go, oh, I should have known that's what she was trying to do. Like, that's it. Otherwise, this was amazing. Yeah. It was perfect. And it was so incredibly logical. Like, why the hell wouldn't you do that? It's like there's a bag of cocaine and this guy is, a really sharp thinker right now who you're fighting and whatnot. Throw cocaine at his face, it's gonna start to fuck up with his ability to think in the way he's been thinking. Like, if that's the big problem, like he's got to think a very different way. But, you change that up. Now, it's hopefully something you can deal with now. Of course, you're not going to kill them at that point if they're cooked up. Like, they don't go down. But maybe you can get away. Or, whatever. But yeah, basically, that's what she did. Was we got something around, I use it. Duh. Jackie Channing with drugs.
Yes, she basically said it that way. Yeah, she says a very cold, bad bitch line and knocks him the fuck out while being completely restrained, unable to move, about 4 seconds from being, like, torn in half or turned into charcoal. And she's like, nah. I believe what she says is like, don't ever underestimate me, or something along those lines. And then he passes out. Because it turns out those bugs, while they couldn't touch the goo and to be awake, if one bug got some on it somewhere and another bug picked up that bug from another part and flew it around, she could drop it pretty much wherever she wanted.
That was so cool, man.
It was pretty fucking awesome.
We know she can do intricate stuff with her bugs because they made her suit, so it makes sense she can do this. Especially after, she nearly died, so that she's come back with, like, this greater feeling about her abilities and stuff, and really demonstrated it here, which is cool. I know. Also,
that's the thing. She has, like,
Long is bigger than we've ever seen him here. and he nearly
Right.
died before and stuff like that. So this goes with my theory of the, almost dying, building up. Yeah.
Yeah, it does fit that theory.
I like the way Kaiser fought during this.
Like a scared bitch.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. Kaiser was fighting great.
Yeah, he fought defensively, like everything else he does.
Yeah, well, at the same time, torturing and potentially killing his enemy. That's what he was doing. Was making them hurt,
Oh yeah.
regret it ever even being there, and hopefully die. So that way, if they do survive, they're gonna leave. Like, they're more like say, nah, fuck that, I ain't going after that guy. I'm leaving. That's a great strategy. Or their brother finds them all dead like that, whatever. They'd be like, fuck this shit, I'm out. It's like they're more likely to do, But they might swear revenge, but who's gonna join them after hearing about what happened to their brother? Like, yeah, it was a smart strategy. I've seen that kind of shit before. Yeah, it was really good. Of course, not with superpowers because I didn't. I don't have that. You don't have that in this world. But anyways, yeah, that kind of shit was really cool. I dug it. It was asshole. He was all going, I'ma kill this guy. I'ma kill his hose. I'ma kill him. And Terry's like, no, don't. When the guy's literally like, I'ma rip your intestines out. It's like, yeah, maybe kill him. These characters are the most that I want to kill you out of anyone I've ever seen in ever. Looks like anyone in this sort of group thing is down to kill you, but I think it has something to do with power consolidation stuff on a cosmic scale that they're not aware of. Because otherwise it just seems weird.
Mm. Another thing here. This is the first time we've seen. This is the first time that Taylor has created what she refers to as a bug clone, which is basically a pile of bugs in the loose shape of a person.
Yes.
What do you think about that?
I said she would have a Taylor mind clone. Oh, like okay. Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of moments in here that made me feel so justified in things I was saying.
I almost forgot about that. So pause for just a moment. Audience, to whoever
paused
after we finished the last episode, I was talking about a character that hasn't shown up yet in the story. Nothing too terribly specific about them, but just like their role in the story and that kind of thing. For those of you who know what I'm talking about, I was talking about Imp, who is like tied for my favorite character in the story. And I basically mentioned like her role in the story as being unfortunately very forgotten, but that she had an epilogue, like an epilogue chapter to herself that kind of like was like, hey, she's a fucking great, awesome like character. She's badass. She's doing good stuff here. And then I mentioned that there were several epilogues when they got curious about them. And one of the things that I mentioned was there's an epilogue for Arms Master. He gets one. There's an epilogue for him.
Yeah.
She gets one. There's an epilogue for some important characters that set stuff up for the sequel. I think there's another epilogue, but that one's spoilers, so I can't really say anything. My compatriot here had a guess, and like the guess here.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, I just like okay. I believe the words went something like, "It's from the perspective of Taylor's mind clone that's stuck in her bugs."
Yeah, something like that.
And
Yes, literally, yeah. Was
yeah,
stuck in her bugs.
and they wanted me to bring that up during this recording when I had a little bit of a mental breakdown. I so just so y'all are aware. So that's what Barry here is talking about when they're talking about the Taylor.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Taylor microphone.
Just for those of
Yeah,
you
'cause
out there
I said
who
that, and then
know.
we get Taylor microphone in the bugs, and then this happens here, and it's like, I feel so justified, man. Like, this one is full of so many ups and downs for me, like super high highs, super low lows.
Yeah.
Whoosh.
I will say technically, so because she has like completely full control over every single one of her bugs, like she's not giving them directives, she's individually manipulating every single part of their body all the time. Really, all of her bugs at any given point have all of her like consciousness in them. Um, so it's not like she's like making a pile of bugs and putting her consciousness in them. It's more like she's forming them together to be able to do more stuff. Because when you have a bunch of them all clumped together, you can get a better idea. There's more senses to utilize in a condensed space, and also it kind of looks enough like a person to fool someone from a distance, maybe. Um, as long as it's not writhing too much. But that's kind of like the main purpose.
And like she
that
said, it could
we're
trigger
seeing.
traps the way a person could and stuff, which is really nice. Super
Yeah.
cool. What?
Yeah, it's got enough mass to set off like weight traps and like tripwires and stuff. So yeah, so she uses them to kind of clear mines, trip like traps and stuff.
Yeah.
So the other thing I wanted to ask about here, what do you think about what Taylor's decision to just take a knife straight to Lung's eyeballs?
Yeah, that sounds normal. But what was kind of nice is she factored for that he regenerates soda and something to keep him down for when he does get back up.
Okay.
Like
I understand you think
taking
that's
people's
normal.
body parts is pretty normal.
Most people don't, right? That's not
Yeah,
like a
it's definitely like a
like
psychosis thing or whatever. But yeah, it's
yeah.
what you
This
do.
is
You know?
this is probably the first. I would say this right here is probably the first indication to a normie that she's a fucking psychopath. Like they're like, oh wait, hang on a minute, because up until this point, Taylor, I mean, throughout the course of the story, really, Taylor mostly thinks of herself as a normal person, right? She isn't, but she believes herself to be. And in this moment, she
Yeah,
doesn't
she doesn't know
like
there's another option. She thinks she's it.
when when Labyrinth gives her a weird look for cutting out a man's eyes, a sleeping man's eyes, they've already caught. She thinks it's weird. She's like, what do you mean? This seems perfectly normal, right? And you think that that's perfectly normal, right?
Yeah, a
And
lot of
there
people
are
would take ears or other stuff like that, or fingers.
yeah,
But yeah, and that's branching normal.
yeah,
But
but
this
I mean,
makes
like,
more sense than that because it hinders their senses.
she's a
Yeah,
white, like
and
lower
don't be
middle
wrong anyway.
class teenage girl going to school, like in like the American Northeast, right? That's not like, and she's
Yeah.
not like a hardened criminal. She's just joined like a crew like a week and a half ago. She's not like a hardened
Yeah.
criminal or anything. Or like this is but she's like, oh yeah, no, I'm just gonna knife eyes. Obviously, 1+1 is 2. Um,
Yeah. And, two eyes equal, taken means 0 eyes left, like, easy peasy math.
yeah, 2 - 2 is 0, and that's better than 2.
Yeah, like, I'm surprised she didn't do some more cutting stuff, but, because, like, he fucking regenerates, so why wouldn't you, like, go on the back of his elbows and snap him out of place or something, but, she at least did something. I was really like, yes! Thank
Mm-hmm.
you! So yeah, I appreciate that. Oh, also teeth. A lot of people would say
Yeah.
teeth. Yeah, but like teeth jars and
Yeah.
stuff were pretty normal.
Well, again, she
And
wasn't
hell,
like
they
keeping
wind up at
trophies.
like
She was like just
yeah,
like
the what do you call it?
stabbed his eyes to like stop him from seeing in
Ferrandi.
case he
Like you
woke
would
up.
see the teeth jars sometimes at Ferrandi and be like, guessing how many are in there or his different aspects, like who they came from and stuff for, the bets and stuff like that. But that's just
I
one
have
side
never
of
lived in
Ferrandi that
Anchorage.
where I was.
I've never been to Ferrandi, so
Yeah.
uh, that's not a
Ferrandi
thing
is
that
great, whether you're dealing with the aspect of like what I was dealing with, or like what normal people deal with, or somewhere in the middle, or just like the men who come
cons.
down from the mountains and then spend the rest of their time on Admertas. It's great. Ferrandi's great. You should go sometime. It's good. It's very good. Love it. That's it.
For those of for the everyone out there who's not from Alaska and the Anchorage region, Mad Myrna's is like the big, like, well-known gay bar. Um, Also, just bar.
And
A lot of
like
straight people go
before
there too. It's just a good bar.
before the what do you call it? Before the trans movement thing happened and stuff, it was the biggest one for cross dressing and like
Yeah.
the cross dressing music competitions and stuff and all that. Like one of my
Yeah, they did
buddies
like drag shows
was
and
like
stuff
super
before it was
hard.
chill.
Yeah, it was super hard, like mountain man and everything, right? And he'd come down from the mountains, walk his ass down into Anchorage for Ferrandi, or for other little trading things like with Black Elk Leather when they were around, and other things like that, Tough dude, rough and tumble. I would never fucked with him. A lot of the people didn't either. And this guy would come in and sell stuff, hang out a little bit with his buddies, and then he'd go dress up as a woman, go to Mad Myrna's, sing his heart out and everything, doing all this like crazy drag show stuff and whatnot, and then walk back up the mountain. Sometimes not even fully changing, just his boots, and just walk back on up down the main road out into the mountains. Like
Dude's
tough
living his
as
best
hell,
life.
dude, and that's what he did. He was, man. But, so yeah,
364 days,
but yeah,
so living on a mountain in the middle of nowhere, no electricity, no power, no water, no internet, just me, a cabin, a gun, and like a river. One day of the year.
Yeah. Fun axe, because he did all his own wood cutting and stuff. But yeah.
Yeah. Dude, that guy sounds awesome.
Dude, he was. He was so cool. My God. Oh my goodness. I hope he's okay. A lot of people I know, like, died or got injured or other things like that and whatnot, I hope he's doing good, because great guy. The only time he was ever on like the bad side of stuff was when people were starting shit at Mad Murders or the Peanut Farm, or when people were like, the bad side of things like Ferrandi or Furrier meetups and stuff there, when people like took that too far and stuff like that. That's it. He was never causing trouble, just ending it.
I do need to correct you on one point. No one ever, quote unquote, starts shit at the peanut farm. Shit is always going on. You're just adding to the pile.
It's the peanut farm.
You
had to add to the pile, or you and something happening on the pile. Yeah.
Dude, you can pay me to go there.
I've been there too many times.
I believe it.
You shouldn't be there. You shouldn't go there. Okay. I don't know why it's world famous. People should not be there.
I don't. It's like, if a fucking tourist ends up in there, they're gonna leave. They're gonna leave with a scar. Like, I don't know if anyone ever goes there.
Yeah. Like, people like Chris Jericho and stuff would go there sometimes. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? I mean, I know you can handle yourself in a fight, but why the hell are you going to a place that is? That's your job is a fight. Don't you want a break?
Yeah.
Like what?
Right.
But anyways, back to this.
yeah, kind of the last thing here, that's like a big, huge important thing is this sort of like interaction that Taylor has with Rachel and Lisa and Neuter, where
Yeah.
like Neuter kind of talks like, Labyrinth was here, right? But she's not like verbal all the time. I mean, she can communicate, but she goes to episodes where she's like non-verbal and sometimes like non-responsive. And so like, she's like out of it, and Taylor's like, "Hey, is she okay?" And Neuter's like, "Yeah, no. Sometimes powers kind of fuck with your head." And like, she's uber powerful. She has a power that is distracting really badly a lot. Like, even when her worlds aren't here, she is in them. So she's kind of like in like La La Land right now, because some powers can mess with your mind, and that leads her to kind of think about bitch, and like Lisa kind of like explaining, yeah, like Rachel was never neurotypical, but her power has kind of like exacerbated that issue, where like it
Yeah.
helped her in a way because like she already had like a very natural affinity with dogs, but it kind of like skewed her in that direction, which also skewed her away from understanding people, right? So like
Yeah.
it's like if you're not
Really
supposed to
interesting.
smile at a dog, right? You're because like with your teeth, because they take that as a challenge, right?
Yeah. The way you did is with a
And Rachel's
relaxed
exactly the same way.
jawline and the raising kind of. Yeah. What's
Yeah.
interesting
So
about it is it takes her a little bit from typical Hounder range and more into like what you would see with like South American sentinels. Because there's sentinels all over the world, but what you'd see there with them, who are usually more cat coated, by the way, or what you would see with familiars. Especially familiars who can take on human form, which is a common thing there. So I thought it was really interesting. It's a fun take of sort of combining different groups into one kind of character in a logical way that makes sense. So that was really cool. I thought it was great touch, and helps showcase what's happening to Taylor as well with her like thought process with her bugs and stuff by showing someone who's more that way.
yeah,
Woof.
I don't think Taylor ever puts it together, that like maybe this kind of thing is happening to her too. Uh, but at least not for a long time.
Not yet, for sure.
But yeah, no, it'll be a little while before she has that much like understanding of herself. Um, but Rachel gives Taylor her coat, which is very very cute and heartwarming. They're getting along.
Yes, it's cute. I love it. Nice. We get that nice scene where they walk off together after the fight and stuff, and like, I think Taylor's walking barefoot because she's trying to make herself look like not wearing a super outfit, and Rachel gives her her coat, and it's the cutest thing ever. They're adorable.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
sure a lot of
there
people
is
went like ship crazy with this, whereas I'm like, yes,
well,
friends. They are friendos at last. You know,
I'll be honest.
rumors of you
Okay,
going nuts.
it's been a long time since I found the story, right? And I've like discussed this kind of thing with a lot of people, and I've been like around the community for a hot minute. I really don't like the percentage of people who like ship these two characters are shockingly small. Like it's an infinitesimal number of people. There are way more people who ship like Taylor with Lisa, right? There are more people who ship Taylor with Panacea,
I
which is
mean,
fucking absurd considering how much they hate
fair,
each other.
but
But
what the fuck, please?
but nobody,
No,
yeah, nobody
no.
does that with Rachel. They're just like, nah, these are like two straight best friends, right? and everyone seems to
Thank you
acknowledge
for
that,
knowing
which
their
I
Sam and
appreciate.
Frodo. But yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
I love it.
No,
I
I
love
say
them as friends. They're
honestly,
great.
yeah. People didn't go ship crazy over this. It was, which is interesting. It's definitely interesting, but appreciate it.
That is interesting. Because, like, if Shadow the Hedgehog gave Sonic his, like, tote or something, as people would go nuts. Like, people would be
Oh
foaming at the
yeah,
mouth to the level of, like, ridiculousness.
oh yeah, yeah. No, if
Eh,
this happened, yeah, in other more famous IPs, like oh, holy shit, dude, they'd be like,
yeah.
they're fucking, like yeah, they're like, no, calm down,
Yeah.
please, Jesus, they're just chilling.
Have
I
you
mean,
guys never had a friend? Like, what the fuck?
yeah, I'm like, I was like looking back through my memories. There have been 3 times I have handed someone my coat, that wasn't a family member, and only like one of them
Okay.
was my girlfriend at the time, and 2 of them were just like good friends. And we were just outside, and it was cold, and I had a coat, and they didn't, and I am very comfortable all the way until you get down to like like 0 degrees or lower, and even until you get down to like -10, I'll be fine for like up to like an hour. Um, Other people aren't like, there aren't a lot of
Yeah, I
people
used to
like
be
that.
that
There
way
are other people like
until
me, but
I
usually most people I
almost
know can't
the
handle the cold that well.
chemical
So I
exposure.
just give them a coat.
Yeah, yeah. That really messed
I
me
don't.
up when it came to all bunch of things I used to do. Hey,
Yeah,
but yeah, that's I used to be out there all day. I used to go hunting out in like -degree temperatures and having a good time. I can't do
mhm,
that now and have a good time. It's like this is miserable. Why am I out here?
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I was in the Boy
but
Scouts for a couple of
yeah,
years, and I went camping dozens of times, and not once was there not snow on the ground when we went camping. It was always in the middle of fucking winter. Um, Hell, one of the times I think the the only time in my life I had frostbite was when my car was having all those issues, and it got stuck at your house, and or like, oh, near your house, whatever. I remember like your dad came and helped me fix it or something. I was standing outside for so fucking long.
yeah.
It was like it was like 6 degrees and with wind chill, and I was standing outside in sneakers for like probably 3 or 4 hours. And by the time I got home, I had frostbite all the way up to my fucking ankles. Dude, that was brutal.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember the first time I got frostbite. I do, because I was a kid, I was still in elementary school. And, I had to walk all the way to school. That was the first bus stop, last bus stop kind of thing. The first one picked up, last one dropped off. So I had to walk.
Yeah,
But like I'd miss the stuff. I'm supposed to be at school. So I go and I walk all the way there. And I feel fine. I feel great. I'm doing stuff. I'm putting things away. Like I hit that little, like, you don't really feel anything because you're so cold. But instead of just,
yeah,
getting a little tingly afterwards, like I'm putting my coat away, I'm putting my backpack away, and then suddenly I fall to the ground and I'm like, oh, I am in so much pain. What is happening?
yep.
And it was a little scene. That was the first time I had frostbite. It was like all the way from my hands down and like my legs, like blazed, and my face had a bit of it. And I had no idea, until I was there and I was like, oh boy. I was like, oh boy, I was just like, pain, what the hell, pain. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
I
did
mean,
not have it very
that was
much
pretty
after
much.
that, like at all.
Yeah, no, it's something to avoid. Like for me, I got
Yeah.
home and I was like, man, my feet are fucking cold. So I sat cross-legged, which is painful for me, by the way, with my fucked up knees, and held. I had my feet
Yeah.
under my body entirely. And I wrapped like my entire lower section in blanket and just sat there. I was like doing all the shit on my computer for like hours, and it was probably like 2 hours went by, and then I like unwrapped myself, and my feet were still cold. I'm like, oh, that's not good. So I went. So by the way, if you ever get
Yeah.
frostbite, for the love of God, don't do what I did, because I went to the bathtub and I turned, because I knew that you don't want to do
Hot
warm
water.
water.
Yep.
Never do hot water.
Oh, thank God you didn't do that.
Don't even do what I did.
I thought you were doing it. I was like, don't do what I did. I might eat the hot water, didn't you?
No. I did not do warm water. I turned it down. I made the water as lukewarm as possible, then turned it down to be a little bit cold. And then I put my feet under it, and that was one of the most painful experiences I've ever had in my life. Don't do that. Seriously, don't do that. And if you have frostbite and you don't do warm, or for the love of God, don't do hot water. You will probably lose whatever you put under there. At least I knew that much.
Dude.
don't even do cold water if you're gonna avoid it.
My hands are all messed up. I see the more the guys I was with, he did the full, like, this idiot wouldn't wear proper gloves in winter, okay? And he did have frostbite on him, and he went and he with the sink to hot water and then put his hands there and did this whole thing, like washing him and stuff there. But yeah, his hands didn't work right after that, he didn't lose anything, but they don't work right.
Yeah, no, that's permanent nerve damage right there, is what that is.
Exactly.
Don't.
Yes,
don't.
It is. Should not have done that. Don't do that.
We got really sidetracked. But just offer your friends your coat. It's chill. You don't have to be like,
if your friend is
fucking a person
way taller than you, you can still do it. And then they're going to grab your coat, wear it like a scarf, and laugh at you. And that's fine. It's funny. It's great. Experiences of life. Let's go.
So whenever I hand people my coat, it's never an issue. Sometimes it's a robe, especially when I was dating that one girl. We were at the fair. It was like raining or something, and I handed her my coat. And it was like a fucking poncho, like a robe. But yeah, no, I mean, like I said, like people really didn't ship these two characters at all, which is a nice change of pace.
Odd, but nice.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I take whatever. My opinions on shit on this kind of shit don't matter. They're not relevant here. I don't really want to discuss them. So we'll move past that.
Is there full set for next hour?
Oh nope. I've got to go to fucking bed, dude. It's 11 o'clock. I need to be up at 5. And I still have shit I need to do. So.
Yeah, so
luckily, that is the end of the arc.
There's definitely more going on here, especially with the fight, but, we covered the things that are important. If you read it, you've seen other things. Again, Kaiser and Lung really focus on different things they care about, like, Lung really reminded me of, like, the Perrys, because, like, they get super focused on, like, blood feuds and crap like that. So he was like really focused on this person, I'm gonna kill that one. Whereas Kaiser is more like people who don't have any of that going on and just like, I'm getting thing done. And I really liked how when Taylor had taken the money, because that's a big thing we didn't talk about, she took money the whole time while they were there, they were doing drug stuff and whatnot. They had people who were mostly unclothed, but normally they'd be naked, but anyways, whatever. And she had the reasons why, but anyways, all that, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
she takes the money. She gives the money in, like, basically equal portions. People help. It was nice.
This story did have to maintain a not quite R rating. So, people are... Usually when you see people naked, they're in their underwear in the story, but you can just be like, yeah, okay, that's what you're supposed to do. Yeah.
Yeah, they'd be naked, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Also, we didn't see a human chap here, which, normally you would sort of see in the situation the size of the place and how big the Tyson's case could fit Lung in there in his transformed state without breaking through the ceiling. Same with, like, the transformed ladies. So they have the space for that. That would have realistically been imploded in there, but it wasn't. So,
yeah, again, like PG-13 plus. It's definitely not like a PG-13 story, but it's also not like quite that dark. there's stuff like that. It's just implied.
Yeah.
But like
Yes,
usually like
which is it's
the
nice it's
more
implied, but yeah.
it's that's they call the ABB like human like traffickers and like kidnappers, but like you don't ever really see that specifically. It's again you see around it, but yeah, it's most of like the super dark stuff is reserved for like body horror and gore. Um, mostly to do
Yeah,
with
for like individual
fights
people, like specified
and
people.
yeah, yeah. There's like villains later who are like super fucked up, and you see some of that. But that's where that pretty much ends.
All right. Let's see here. Yep. The people take the money, and it's really nice and stuff. Neuter thanks Taylor and the crew for all the help because they give her physical help and stuff, and then disappear into the sewers. I love that they didn't have him just lift the sewer grate or anything. They had the other one use her power to make it move because those things are heavy AF. Like I've seen a couple guys who lift those and move those, and those guys are scary to deal with in a fight, man. Like they'll punch through you, like bones are breaking if they hit you. Like that's some crazy
like
shit.
People who actually
don't try
work down
lift
there
one
have
of
a
those.
tool for that.
Yeah,
like they're not meant to.
like,
they're not meant to be lifted.
Don't try do that. Yeah. You see someone lift that, they're on something or they're ridiculous, man. Like, don't mess with them.
Yeah, they're
So
like
yeah,
a
they
professional.
realistically showed someone using a power to do that because, yeah, exactly. Yeah, so yeah. Let's see here. That's basically the big thing I want to mention is everyone got some money from her because of that pretty even spread and whatnot. So I think she helped the reputation of her crew as being worth their salt. But also, there's a position where Kaiser and Long were both basically defeated on the ground. And I was like, oh, girl, this is the time to kill those two. Cool. But she did. She just, messed with Long a teeny bit and let the Valkyrie ladies take Kaiser away. Like, come on, girl. Should have murked them both. Anyways.
Last thing is she definitely would have been caught. They definitely wouldn't have been like, oh, they broke the truce, blah, 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 blah. But I mean, like, what kind of issue could, like, the Empire have even brought against them without Kaiser? They just, like, disappear for a while and let the Empire fall apart.
They're gonna infight. Yeah, exactly. Empire 88 is gonna infight. And they have no one as charismatic to take the spot. His second in command hated him anyway, wanted to do different stuff. Like, yeah, it's no one near close. And ABB, whoever took charge of this Bakuda would make it go more crazy time, and Oni Lee would make it, like, slink into the shadows. So, either way, people are going to be handling that with his more military economy. You can lay low. You have some decent amount of money right now. You can lay low a while. You can. It's fine.
Yeah. But, she's not, she doesn't have that kind of, like, mind, right? She's, like, yet, at least, where she sees that path, right? It doesn't even cross her mind to kill anybody here.
Yeah, again, she's doing really good considering everything that happened to her and stuff. She should have just been like, yeah, I'm gonna go kill some people. And she didn't kill nobody. It's actually preventing people from killing each other. Like, yeah.
Yeah, she's doing good.
I like the characters we saw. I'm excited to see more of them and where their side stories go. Even if it's just from, like, Taylor's perspective, and maybe learn little bits and pieces later. Still excited for that. This is a good chapter. I'll give it a rating. I'll give it a rating of 7 because, there's a lot of ups, a lot of downs, but it really moved the ability to determine what you think is happening in the story and what the giant overarching plot line might be. forward. So, with all that in mind, you're able to, make your own decisions about what the story is doing, where it's going. I know I did. You've heard my theory. So, I'm super duper
Get in the
excited
comments.
for how right
No
or wrong
spoilers,
I
but
am.
Get in the comments.
Yeah. What are your theories? Or what were your theories? If, you've already read through it, what are you thinking? We'd love to hear it. Thank you guys for joining us. Hopefully the next one will be a little more focused, but, hopefully the writing of it will be a little more focused. So, let's go!
Have a good night.
Have a good one. Bye-bye. Chow mein noodles, friendos. Toodaloo. Bye-bye. Oh, there. I think I did it. Okay.